Community services play a vital role in the quality of life of rural Canadians. Familiar institutions like the town hall, the post office, or the school are all important in supporting the residents of a community. Everything from healthcare and communication to transportation and tourism is strengthened by community services. At the same time, though, the role of services goes beyond that of support, as they play an important role in retaining current residents and businesses and in attracting new ones to the community. The benefits of community services are obvious, but unfortunately, the delivery of these services has changed over the last couple of decades. Over the past 20 years, both the government and the private sector have sought to lower expenditures, and this has resulted in reduced spending on rural services. This has meant that many services have been closed or reduced. People have had to do without, and this has often had a drastic effect on their quality of life. Other times, services have been relocated to larger regional centers, and people have to find ways to travel these extra distances. This can be difficult, as people have to find ways to pay the cost of travel and carry this out over rough rural roads and through Canada's winter weather. A lack of rural services might seem to some as merely an inconvenience. However, the impact is much more substantial than that. A gap in rural services affects many of those who need them the most. Youth and the elderly are the least likely to have a vehicle, and this leaves them in a difficult position when they need to travel to a hospital over 30 kilometers away. Those who are unemployed need the quality welfare and support services so that they can find new work and provide for themselves and for their families.
The withdrawal of services from rural and small-town Canada creates a lot of challenges. Over the last 8 years, a new rural economy project has been tracking services change in sites across Canada. And over that time, we found that only about 28 of 127 services that we were tracking remained available in more than half the sites. But rural and small-town places have also been working to react to this challenge. Places have created their own solutions in an effort to provide their community with appropriate services. Sometimes these are provided by volunteer groups, at other times an innovative solution is required.
One success story comes from Mackenzie. The gateway to Williston Lake is a picturesque forestry town in north-central British Columbia. The town used to have a local radio station that was owned by a parent company in Prince George, but that ran a morning show filled with community headlines and local information. Despite being an important source of news and pride, the parent company closed the Mackenzie branch and ended the local show in 2001 during a period in which the whole industry was restructuring. In response, residents, industry leaders, the local government, schools, and businesses all came together to form the Mackenzie and Area Radio Community Society. Less than 2 years later, they were operating their own independent radio station to serve the community. Not just surviving, the Mackenzie radio station is stronger than ever.
Well, since it's community-owned now, the people that run it are from this community. They know what's going on at all times, so they can be there at those events, and they actually care about the community and want to be there for everything. We can be there for power outages when people need us and they want to know how long the power is going to be out. And in case of emergencies, we're there for everyone as well. They can just tune into 103.5 and we can help them out.
Another innovative solution to the need for rural services comes from Springhill, Nova Scotia. Located in Cumberland County in the western part of the province, Springhill is home to just under 4,000. It was the childhood home of international recording star Anne Murray. Unfortunately, many of the services that used to be provided at the Springhill Hospital, like CT scanning, obstetrics, and others, have been relocated to a brand new hospital in Amherst, about 15 minutes away. Since the year 2000, the local health committee has worked with partners to shore up their health services. Since attracting doctors to rural communities is difficult, Springhill has instead decided to take part in a nurse practitioner pilot project.
Nurse practitioners are healthcare professionals that are trained to prescribe medications, order and interpret tests, conduct examinations, and manage chronic diseases like diabetes. They can work in conjunction with nearby doctors or operate fully independently as long as the case is within their scope of practice.
The nurse practitioner in Springhill has become a visible and intensely busy member of the community. She's seeing many patients and has also established a number of outreach programs, like a Well Women's program, a disease prevention program, and sexual health programs. The project's worked really well. It has led to more patients getting to see someone who can help them in a shorter period of time.
In the spring of this year, my dad had a heart attack, unbeknownst to him. He went to the nurse practitioner because his family doctor was on sick leave. Through her quick action, she was able to get him into Halifax to a specialist, and they were able to provide him with the necessary treatment to prevent any further damage to his heart. So she's played a really important role in our life, and he's okay.
The withdrawal of rural services is a trend that's posing serious challenges to the economic health and quality of life of rural and small-town Canadians. As the trends of service closures, reductions, and relocations continue, many communities have been able to adapt with innovative solutions. But it's going to be important that all rural and small-town places learn more from one another about the options and possibilities for meeting their services needs.